And we're live. The final stream before we tee it up for the first leg of the playoffs. Great season. Happy to be in the playoffs. We have 3 weeks of, I guess, exciting golf. Then we have some time off. Go over to Europe. Ryder Cup, fall swing. Excited for all of it. We get no real break in the golf season, which is why it is the best sport to handicap, best sport to follow, best sport to be a fan of. So let's get into it. We have, I think, 4 or 5 interviews to break down. Hopefully something I say gets you on one of these guys or gets you off one of these guys, and I'll give my narratives and thoughts with each and every one of them. So let's get right into it, and we will talk about Brian Harman reigning Open championship. Talk about his game, how he's feeling before the Open, how he's feeling now. Brian Harman said, yeah, he was trending very well before the Open, and he hasn't done a lot since then. He thinks he's going to have to knock off a lot of rust before Thursday's round. They also asked him, do you feel like a better player than you were a month ago? He laughed and was like, no, I really do not feel like that at all. I definitely didn't feel like it when I teed it up Monday on the practice range. So it makes sense. And I don't blame Brian Harman for feeling like a worse golfer now than he did before the Open Championship. Brian Harman deserves to party, deserves to have a good time. But if he's blatantly admitting to not feeling like he was before the Open, how are we going to play him? I know he has got the decent course history. He had a good finish here last year. But how are we going to play Brian Harman, who blatantly admitted to not feeling like he felt before the Open, doesn't feel great, and feels like he's got to knock rust off? Sure, he can come out the gate slow and have a good finish to this tournament, but something that got me off Brian Harman was his quotes. He doesn't feel like he is playing good golf at the moment, and he feels like he's got to knock some rust off. So I'm out on Brian Harman. I was kind of in on him going into the week too, but based off his quotes, I'm out on Brian Harman. All right, we will talk about Scotty, and we're going to talk about Scotty's views on the golf course and Scotty's views on his new putter that he's putting into play. So Scotty, obviously the betting favorite, the highest priced guy in DraftKings, talked about the golf course, and he talked about the rough. And he thinks even without the rain, the rough is a lot thicker than it has been in past years, putting a higher emphasis on greens regulation, fairways and regulation. So Scotty was like, yeah, this rough is really, really thick, and add the rain, it's going to be super thick, super wet. So what am I viewing that as? Because out of the other guys that I'm going to talk about, they talked about how the course being wet is going to set up for a lot of birdies. Yes, it will. And I think this course is going to be even more volatile than it was in previous years, because super wet, you can go at flags and the ball will stick to the greens. But if you do miss fairways and do miss greens, it's going to be that much harder because it's so thick and so wet. So obviously there's a lot of water on this golf course, very volatile. Add in the thick rough. So I think good shots will get extra rewarded and bad shots will get extra punished. So it's going to be a really good test, a really fun test over these next few days. Let's talk about Scotty Scheffler's putter. He's going with a new TaylorMade Spider, and he talked about how he didn't love mallets going into the year and his whole life. He liked the look of the blade, the feel of the blade. He didn't like how the mallets felt in his hand, but he felt like he liked how he aimed the ball with the mallet. So he said TaylorMade built him a putter where the weight is very in the front of the mallet, so it kind of feels like a blade, so the weight's only in one spot. But he still gets that bonus of lining it up because he feels like he lines the ball up better with the mallet putter. Truly, it cannot get any worse with Scotty Scheffler on the greens. I think this is going to be a bonus to his putting. Hopefully, he putts well. I mean, I don't have any Scotty Scheffler liability this week just because I went with Jon Rahm at the top, but I do think Scotty Scheffler will putt better. He's had time off to practice with this. He's had time off to just practice putting as a whole. We know what the ball striking is. It's the best in the world. So Scotty Scheffler, new putter. He likes the way it feels. He likes the way it lines up with his eye. I am bullish on Scotty Scheffler going into the week. Let's move on to Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy changed putters as well, and he changed putters for a very different reason than Scotty Scheffler. He said, honestly, I just wanted to freshen up. I just wanted a different look. Very weird that he said that, because by no means was Rory putting bad or playing bad golf. Why would he change something? Don't fix it if it's not broken, Rory McIlroy. And he went back with old putter he used in the past, and he still has his Spider in the bag in case it goes bad. But I don't know why he is messing with things that are working right now. So that's kind of is leading me off Rory. I mean, he wouldn't use a putter that he doesn't feel comfortable with, but you never know. Like, under the gun, the pressure is different, and he's changing it up. I don't know why he's changing it up. They also talked about Rory's success here and Rory's success at East Lake, and they asked him, is it the golf course or is it the season? And he thinks it's a combination of both. He feels like he always plays good this time of year, but really likes the golf courses as well, and they make sense. Ball strikers, paradises, fast Bermuda greens, rewards tee to green play. Yeah, definitely makes sense why Rory McIlroy plays good at this time of year on these golf courses. So, and he also talked about it's good going to such a rewarding event like East Lake and the playoffs on golf courses that set up for you well, because it's kind of a bonus for him. Like Xander Schauffele, that's why he always has a good finish in FedEx Cup, because he goes to a golf course that he likes, and it's there every single year. That's why I would like the playoffs to kind of switch up the golf courses year in, year out, but it is what it is. So Rory McIlroy, new putter, but he likes how his game is, and he likes the golf course. He also thinks it's going to play a lot softer with the conditions. It's going to play a lot easier with the conditions than it has in past years. But I'm still weighing on that side where the good shots are going to get extra rewarded and the bad shots are going to get extra punished. And we will finally wrap it up with Ricky Fowler. He said this is the best he's ever felt coming into the playoffs in his entire career, and I would say that's warranted. The numbers kind of check that out. He's checking a lot of boxes tee to green. He says it's nice to come in getting a little bit of rest because he was on like an 8 of 10 week stretch. He played so much golf, obviously got that win in there at the Rocket, and it was really important to get that break. And now he has to gear up for this final three week run. He feels rejuvenated. He loves the golf course. He loves how important that break was for Ricky Fowler. He also said, like Rory McIlroy, you drive the ball in the fairway here, you will be able to score the ball. So I bet Ricky. I am bullish on Ricky. The only person that really got me off of their narrative, off of them based on their narratives, was Brian Harman. So excited to see what Scottie Scheffler's doing. I think Rory will play well, but kind of interested to see how he'll putt. And I'm really high on Ricky Fowler. So that about wraps it up. Any questions before we tee off? Definitely, you know where to find me. So I'll catch you guys on Friday. Peace out.